The first thing I want to look at is your posture over the ball. And on the left is your putting stroke before I made any adjustments, and I'm going to compare it to Tiger Woods, who's considered one of the best putters of all time. And a couple things that you want to try to do when you set up, your posture has to accomplish certain goals. And one of the goals is that you want to try to position yourself so that your eyes are somewhat over the golf ball. And that's one of the goals that you want to achieve with your posture. The second one is I want your hands to be somewhat underneath your shoulders so that when you swing your hands back and forth toward your target line, the law of gravity helps you keep those hands on that line. The hands will always want to swing under the shoulders. If you set your hands out a little bit away from the shoulders, gravity is always going to be making it difficult to swing your hands on line because gravity is going to create a force that pulls those hands this way, and it's harder to keep your hands on that line. So gravity can help your swing if they're under the shoulders, and gravity will hurt the consistency of the stroke if they're not under the shoulders. Now when you set up, your eyes are just a little bit too inside. I wish they were more over the top of the golf ball. And your shoulders, or your arms, I should say, are swinging out towards the ball, and they're not straight down under here. So I would like to adjust your posture so that you get your eyes more over the ball and you get your hands more under the shoulders. Now, the way that Tiger achieves that setup is that his spine is tilted over more. I've drawn a line there at 51 degrees, and you're at 63 degrees, so you're a little bit more upright. And what I would like to see is something a little bit closer to the tilt over. And if you tilt it over more, that would automatically put your eyes further over on top of that golf ball. The second thing I want you to notice is that Tiger has his elbows slightly tucked. And so, you have pretty much straight arms. So two changes I wanted to make. One is tilt more and flex your elbows and bring them into your sides a little bit, and that'll help get the hands underneath the shoulders as well. Now on the right is your new setup, and you're much better set up there. You've tilted more. In fact, you have the same spine angle tilt that Tiger had that puts your eyes over the ball. You flexed your elbows slightly so that the hands are right under the shoulders. Much more of an athletic stance. That looks really good. And so it'll be important for you to practice that. You may need to refer back to these videos from time to time to get reinforcement of the visual look of it. But you need to achieve that on a consistent basis, and you need to really become more and more comfortable with the setup on the right. That will make you such a better putter. So that's very, very good. Now we're going to look at the putting stroke itself and continue comparing you to Tiger Woods. On the left is your putting stroke before I made any adjustments. First, let's look at Tiger and what he's doing. He does have his feet slightly closer together than you do. Your new posture may be more comfortable or become more comfortable when you tilt over a little bit more to possibly get them a little bit closer. But to me, I don't think that's a major issue. You might experiment with, I'm only talking about an inch or two closer. I don't want any major changes. But that's one of the differences I see in the two setups at first glance here. Let's watch Tiger's stroke now. He takes it back. That's the length of his backswing as he takes it forward to the follow through. right here. So his follow through is slightly longer than his backswing. That's because he has a smooth acceleration through the ball. And because it's an acceleration, that means it's going to travel slightly faster than its backswing and therefore slightly longer. Also, I want to point out that when he reaches his final follow through position, where the putter's stopped and it's no longer moving, it's still, his eyes are still looking straight down at the ground. He didn't turn to watch the ball roll away. He keeps his eyes frozen to the ground until he completes the stroke, as you can see right there. That's an important fundamental in a good putting stroke. And then he will, after he's held that position for a moment, he'll hold his spine angle, he'll hold his posture, he'll hold still. He's absorbing and soaking up the memory of the force of the putt. He doesn't want that experience of remembering the force to be distracted by the visual information of watching the ball roll to the hole. He wants to focus totally on just the feeling of how hard he hit it. And then after that brief moment, he then will turn and look. And while he's looking, he's still holding his posture. He's still holding his putter right where it is. He doesn't what we call recoil the putter back after the stroke is over with. He holds that position, holds that finishing position right there. The other thing I want to point out is his hands swung all the way past his leg. He's not just swinging the end of the putter, he's swinging the entire club, the handle and the putter head. So when he's putting, his hands are swinging back and forth, not just the putter head. A lot of players will keep their hands kind of in the middle of their body and just hinge and snap their wrists back and forth. But he's swinging his shoulders, his elbows, his forearms, everything is moving through. Let's look at your putting stroke. As you take it back, I'm going to mark that's the backswing. And there's the follow through. So your follow through is slightly shorter than your backswing. And you'll also notice that you are looking at the ball roll away as soon as you hit the ball. You're not holding your eyes still. And also your hands, you're swinging the putter head a little bit more than you're swinging the handle. And so you're not really getting those hands to swing out all the way to here, swing the entire club through. And those are some of the things that we worked on, and you really improved that. So now let's look at your putting stroke after we made those important improvements.
I didn't go for enough out.
Yeah, that's right, you popped it.
Yeah.
So we're going to trust the stroke, the new stroke. We're going to just create the form, just smoothly through the ball. Oh, that's a good stroke. And you look. So now just aim a little more right, but you already have, if you just copy what you just felt, it's going to be really good. You're just trying to copy now. So that you're now building a new sensory library in your brain.
Right.
That probably felt pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, on the right is your new putting stroke. And one of the things I wanted you to do is grip it differently. I wanted you to have what we call left hand low. So your left hand is further down the shaft. You've crisscrossed your hands. The main reason I want you to do this is this is a method of putting and holding the grip to help you not get wristy with the stroke. And it forces more of an arm swing and a shoulder swing and a forearm swing. And it's harder to flip at the ball with your wrist with this grip. And I want you to stick with it for at least a month. And then we can evaluate whether or not once you've established a good arm stroke, a good forearm swing, where you're not wristy, then that does open up the possibility of maybe gripping it other ways, providing you don't go back to a wristy stroke. But most people who make this change in order to reduce the wrist action end up keeping this grip for their entire putting career. So stick with it for a month and your fundamentals will be better. That's the goal of the grip, is to have better fundamentals of swinging the entire club. So I've done that change. Let's look at the stroke now. As you take it back, let's mark the end of the backswing, follow through. To about here. So your follow through is certainly longer than your backswing, which is a change in what you were doing. You were taking a long backswing and a short follow through, kind of just popping the ball. Now you're really swinging everything, the entire club. Your hands are way out here, and so and of course your eyes now are still right here. That's very good. That's like the pros right there. Very stable setup. You're tilted over more. That's the other adjustment we made. Made a lot of adjustments. And this is just after 15 minutes. So you've done a remarkable job, and you need to keep this. And the more you practice this, the form, learn the form first. You still may not get it close to the hole every time because your mind is on the form. You've got to shape this form and make it permanent. Then once you own this stroke, this is the way you feel the most comfortable, then you can start to focus more on the memory of force and start building a new sensory library of how far the ball goes when you remember each differences of force. But you've got to have that kind of a stroke where your hands go past the leg. And obviously, if it's a shorter putt, you would want to reduce the size of that stroke. If it's a shorter putt, you may have a backswing to here and a follow through to here. And so the size of the stroke changes as you have different distances that you have to hit the ball. And of course, downhill, you may have a very small stroke. If you're hitting on the course and you're above the hole and having to putt the ball downhill, your stroke may be here and here. It may be very tiny because the green is so fast, so you're going to have to reduce the size. But the method of moving your body is not going to change. You're always going to have left hand low. You're always going to let your hand swing back and forth. But that's your new putting stroke, and you've done an excellent job of reshaping it into a very solid, fundamentally sound putting stroke.